Hi, I'm Rebecca and welcome to the Creabea Knitting podcast. Hi, welcome. My name is Rebecca. I'm a knitter and knitwear designer based in Edinburgh, and this is a vlog or a podcast all about knitting, what I'm currently knitting on, what I've been knitting on, and what I'd like to cast on in the not too distant future. And today is an exciting day because it's Tolsta Tank Day. If you're brand new and have no idea what I'm talking about, I'm releasing a pattern today. It is the Tolsta Tank. I'm very excited. It has been in the works for a year, and so it's nice that it's finally the day that it's launching. So I've got a stack of Tolsta Tank things to go through. I've got 3 works in progress, 3 finished objects, 3 works in progress. I thought I had some acquisition, but right now, a little bit of acquisition. Yeah, I have a little bit of acquisition. So let's jump in. First and foremost, my pattern, the Tolsta Tank, is releasing today and is now available on Ravelry and Etsy. And if you scroll down below, there's a little discount code that you can use until the end of the day on Sunday, and that will give you a little percentage off the pattern. If you applied to test knit this way back 2 months ago, check your email address because you also got an email with a code, and that's for a little bit more of a discount as a little thank you for offering to test knit for me. Let me talk about the pattern. It is a pattern of epic proportions, and by that I mean there's just so much pattern. Pages and pages of pattern. So it is a summer tank top, and there are 3 styles. There is a vest, a camisole, and a square neck. It comes in a DK weight gauge and a 4-ply gauge, both of which are quite airy gauges, so they're quite open and quite drapey. The DK weight is 17 stitches and the 4-ply gauge is 24 stitches per 10 centimeters. And then this also comes with 3 bust shaping options, so up to a B cup, up to a D cup, and up to an F cup. And it comes in 10 sizes. So just a few things, just a couple of patterns for the price of one. I had this idea last year. I cast on my very first one, which was not the one I'm wearing actually. I do have it here though. This was the very first one I made, and it is pretty bad. I hadn't made a vest before. It's still wearable, but as you can kind of see actually, the back neckline is not much higher than the front neckline, and so it kind of chokes me a little bit. Well, actually that's not true. It's open enough at the front, but the back skews. Like the back isn't even because it has to go over the back of my shoulders, and so the back hem is shorter than the front hem. But this is the tank that started it all. And honestly I've still worn it, provided I wear it with high enough jeans or I tuck it into something you can't tell the hem differences. So this is the very first one, and then I was like, what if I just, it's worked from the bottom up, and I was like, what if I just do the same but then change the top half but use the same number of stitches? And so I made the square neck version. And so this square neck version, again, it's slightly changed, like the shaping around the underarm has changed a little bit since I cast this on, but the vibe is still the same. So it's worked from the top, and then you add these little straps. And then I started a camisole last year and I have no idea where it is. So I started the camisole again this year. And so yeah, there are 3 options. So I am wearing my square neck, I am wearing my vest version, and I will say the vest is my favourite version. I don't like showing a whole lot of skin. Like even this with bare arms I feel a little bit naked, so I generally don't show a whole lot of skin, and Scotland's not a particularly warm place, so I rarely, like, this is the one I can get the most wear out of. I have 4 versions of this because I love it so much, and yeah, I just love, it's super clean, it's super simple, it's full bra strap coverage on the front, and you're not going to see it because I'm going to twist and it's going to pop out, but on the back as well you can't see a bra strap. It's like a high enough neck but like doesn't choke me sort of thing. And so I absolutely love this. The second version then is, so the square neck. So here's my square neck version. These are both knit in Drops Belle. In fact, everything is knit in Drops Belle until I tell you it's not in Drops Belle. Drops Belle is my yarn of choice for this pattern, although loads of other yarns will work, but this is the one that I chose to use because I've got so much of it. So again, quite square, quite boxy. They're all very relaxed fitting. I do think a couple of testers like sized down and it looks stunning as like a more fitted version. I just don't wear a whole lot of fitted things, but if that's more your vibe, that's definitely also an option. And so you finish it with like, in this one, a little rib detail and rib straps. You can sub out the ribbing for I-cords, you can sub it out for folded edges, for like a lace trim. That's all an option. And then, oh, I'm in the camisole version. I knit this camisole on a flight from Edinburgh, well, a couple of flights from Edinburgh to New Zealand. It knits up so quickly. And this is the camisole again, quite boxy, super easy wearing. And I will say, what I've decided to do is the camisole has some instructions on narrowing the straps, because some people didn't want as much fabric on the straps as they are from the test knit. For shortening the armhole, if you also don't want, if you want a bit more like, for me it covers my bra strap, but it's probably like, it just covers my bra strap, it comes to here. And then it's a very deep V. So the V is where the armhole split is for all sizes. And so there's also some guidance on how to shorten this, and then like what to do with the stitches that you're losing, if that makes sense. Just because I know that some people don't want to show off as much in a V as this. So there are 3 versions. 4-ply DK, bust shaping, all of the above. It comes in, so when you get the pattern, you get 7 documents. You get an intro page, and that has got all of the sizing. So it has got the chest circumference, it's got the depth, it's got the armhole depth, the arm to bottom depth, all of those things. It then has, and it has it for all the sizes and all the yardages, and then you've got an individual pattern document for like the 4-ply cami has one, the DK square has one, the DK vest has one. So all of those are in individual patterns. And yeah, goodness, it has been a lot of work getting it to here. My tech editor is amazing, and she went on an incredible, her name's also Rebecca, she went on a course to learn more about bust shaping, and then I landed the Tolsta Tank in front of her like just after she finished the course, and I was like, how do you feel about writing me some bust shaping? And she's been amazing with that as well. It's quite nice because yeah, it's just such a considered way of doing it, and there's been some really great feedback on that too. So yeah, it was a huge test knit. I think there were like 80 testers. There were over, I think there were over almost 1,000 applicants to test it. It's just been a massive project, and I'm really excited that it is going out into the world, and also really nervous because if I'm being honest, I think there's going to be like, someone is going to find something that I've not found yet. It has been through 2 rounds of tech editing. It's had like, yeah, like 80 tester eyes on it. There's going to be something I've not found, and I'm just nervous because I know what's going to happen, but it'll be a small minor mistake. And I just remind myself that like every tester that is to test the garment, people are going to get through it. It's not going to be anything major, but I know I'm going to get that email being like, I found a little error. This should be bold. You've forgotten a decimal point, like something that's going to happen, and I'm just nervous about that happening. So yeah, that's, I mean, it's not all I've got to say. I've got a couple of finished objects which are part of the Tolsta, but I wanted to just share that it's out and it's live. The discount runs until the end of the weekend, and I'd love if you can show it a little bit of love. I will be starting a knit along, and I'll be starting that next week. So there's going to be a video coming out next week. I'm going to show you all my Tolstas. I've also got some long sleeve Tolstas, because next week I hoped it was all going to be the same day, but I got a bit like the long sleeve edits and the t-shirt bust shaping edits of like, there's a couple of things that I just took too long to reply to, so I've extended the test knit for the testers because I took too long. Like usually it takes me 1 or 2 days, it took me like 4 or 5 days to get the updates out, so I want to give them more time. So I pushed the launch back for the t-shirt bust shaping and long sleeve, and that'll get updated next Friday, and then there'll be a little knit along. So you can join in now. You can already start the knit along will start next week. But if you want to cast on now, partially finished will be welcome. So you're more than welcome to start ahead of time. My plan is to run, I think, Tolsta knit along until the end of the summer, so probably until like the end of August. Does that make sense? Yeah, then you've got most of June, all of July, all of August, and the prize will be some kits to make Tolsta tanks, or Tolsta tees, or Tolsta long sleeve versions based on some of my favourite yarns. So I'm hoping to have a good like 7 or 8 prizes for that, but more to that. I'm not like putting enough thought into it because my brain is currently completely consumed with Tolstas. But I'll put some thought into it by next week and let you know exactly what the prizes are. But yeah, there will be a knit along starting in a week's time, so if you want to swatch or cast on, you're more than welcome to do so. And let's get into my finished objects. I have one which I didn't show you last time because I completely forgot about it, and I don't know how. I think I just had uploaded videos and I forgot that I had a finished object and it somehow missed out in making it to the cut. So I have not finished this list since last time, but I have finished this and haven't told you about it. And this is a mashup of, this is a Tolsta Tank, but it's a mashup of the vest, like the one I'm wearing, and the camisole fronts. So both of the vest and the camisole end up with the same number of stitches at the shoulder. And so I just followed the back panel, followed the two front panels, and then joined them at shoulders in the same way that I would join the camisole or the vest. I just happened to do it with two different panels, if that makes sense. And this is my little tie vest. Oh, it's tucked in a little bit. I'm obsessed with this. I've worn it so much. I did not think I had space in my wardrobe for one of these, but I do. I got the inspiration from my Journal of Scottish Yarns entry, which is like a tie front vest. And then as soon as I was like, oh, I could make that with a Tolsta, I did. It is knit up in, oh, I've got an end poking out. It is knit up in Knitting for Olive held double, Knitting for Olive merino held double with a strand of mohair. So it's quite chunky. Because the Tolsta gauges are quite like an open gauge, I can get that with like thicker yarns too. So I could just use like a single strand of DK and it can be like an airy floaty fabric like this, like a linen loose gauge. But also it can just be like a regular gauge for a DK and a mohair, which is quite nice. And it was fun to make it slightly more, like this is much more suited for Scotland weather. I think it's like 9-10 degrees today. So this and a t-shirt and a pair of jeans is perfect. I will get more wear of this than I probably will out of a tank top if I'm honest. I finished it with I-cord edges. So there's I-cord around the neck, there's an I-cord around the armhole, and then there's a very cute little I-cord tie at the front. And yeah, I really like it. It's the colourway pomegranate. It's super casual, super fun. I will post I took some pictures of it, so I'll put a picture in of what it looks like. And yeah, that's my finished object from a few weeks ago. I don't think I'll rush to make another one of these because I do think there is limited amount of space for these in my wardrobe, but I am thinking of like, I really want either a mohair scrappy one or what's the other word I'm thinking of? A mohair scrappy one, or like a really nice dark green or like autumnal coloured vest where I don't split the fronts and I just do like a vest and add like 2x1 1x1 ribbing, like a regular vest in the autumn. But I'm now fully in summer knitting mode, so I'm not going to do that right now. The second finished object is my final Tolsta, and then I'll move on from talking about this pattern. I was like, oh, I wonder if I can knit a Tolsta in a week. The pattern comes out on Friday, it's Monday. Let's see if I can knit this in a week. And it took me 2 days. Of like Monday I went to knit night. Monday I probably had like a good, I don't know, maybe like 6 hours of knit time. No, not quite as much as that, it can't be that long. Maybe 4.5 hours, 5 hours. I went to knit night, it started at 5, I came home, I chilled for another couple of hours, like yeah, maybe 4.5 hours. And then Tuesday, again I had all evening, so yeah, probably closer to, probably 5 hours again on Tuesday. And then I had a little bit of meetings on Monday, Tuesday during the day where I did a bit of body knitting. And I made a black one. Now it needs a little bit, it's been blocked, but I added a trim and I added this very cute little crochet edge, and that's not been blocked, and it's kind of pulling the edges in a little bit, so I will block that. But look at this. I've never done this before. I did it on a swatch to check it worked. I need to decide if I want it like this or if I want it to be like it's quite narrow, and I don't know if I want it to be more of a statement than it currently is, if that makes sense. Yeah, it was really fun. I just worked the pattern exactly as is. Is that right? No, I shortened the armholes a little bit. I was a bit worried that there wouldn't be enough space on the shoulders to showcase these, so I knit maybe 4 fewer rows and left some stitches. I think I left 3 extra stitches on each shoulder. So that there would be plenty of space for this to work without it being too close to each other. In retrospect, I didn't need to do that, but I did it anyway. And it's all on Dots Belle, and I just think it's super fun. It's really, really fun. And like quite cool. I think it's going to be nice with like a, I don't know, I think it's going to be like a little bit more of a fancy outfit, but not too fancy. It's funny because I had plans to do this with the vest version, and then I just kept not casting it on, and then finally I was like, wait, just do it on the camisole, that'd be way cooler because the edges are there's no trimming on the camisole unless you add trimming, so there's no ribbing, no, you can again add an I-cord, you can add folded edges, add any of those things, but this way I didn't have to think about it, I could just do it straight up. So yeah, I don't really know what it is. I think it's a single crochet. I don't really know what I'm doing with a crochet hook, if I'm being honest, but I put it in, I skipped it, I skipped that to the loop already on, and I put it in the next hole. That's a single crochet, that's what I did. I don't know. Okay, oh, I do actually have one more that I should have shown you, which is, I showed it a while ago, but here's one with the folded edges. So on this one, I just folded over my armhole cuffs and I knit them in stockinette, and then I folded them over. One of the sides is really messy because I talked about this at the time, I did a bit of a stupid thing and I made my stripes every 5 rows, which meant that I started the stripe on a different end once I started knitting flat, which is not the end of the world, but I had a lot more ends than I would like, because normally if I did it every 4 rows, I could do 4 white, blue, blue, 4 white, blue, blue, but I had to go like 5 white, blue, 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 and then 5 white, and then start my next blue here. Does that make sense? So I had loads of ends. So I tucked my ends into these straps, and they've stayed there quite fine, but I don't think it's left the neatest edging. Like I think on here, for example, you can see those edges a little bit more. It's not quite as crispy, yeah, like there. Anyway, it's not the end of the world. If anyone is that close to my armpit, then we've got a problem. So actually, it's fine. But yeah, that's my really fun little sporty one with a double folded neckband. Okay, 16 minutes in, I'm done talking about the Tolsta. I'm going to move on, kind of, and talk about other things I have. I do also have another Tolsta as one of my whips, but we'll get to there. Let's talk about another finished object. So, because I know this yarn works, so Drops Belle, Linendale, King Cole Linendale, and Sandnesgarn Lena are all the same yarn, basically. They have like a slightly different percentage, but they're all a viscose linen cotton blend, and to me they knit up the same. I think I would struggle, other than the colours and like the way they're packaged. I think if you gave me 3 strands and like blindfolded me and told me to tell you which one was which, I couldn't tell you the difference. I think the Sandnesgarn colours are really cool, but then the Drops Belle is cheaper, so if I'm going for like a black, I'm gonna go for the Belle because it's cheaper. And then Linendale's got some extra colours, but like not that many, and I think there are other ones out there. I found other brands of this, just they're not as easy to order. So when I knew that when Tolsta Tank season came and I was making loads of samples, I was pretty aware, I keep finding ends, I was pretty aware that I was like, oh, just order more yarn because I can just keep ordering this yarn, and then like I just keep making Tolsta samples. But for some reason I couldn't commit to this green being a Tolsta, and then I was waiting for the knit along, so I thought I'll make a tee out of it, because like I said, I wear the tees more than the tanks because Scotland is not that warm. But then I had a rogue thought and I decided to give in, and I just did all of my favourite things in one pattern. It's the gauge of the Tolsta, it's the construction of 6th season / Lauder, because 6th season and Lauder are the same construction. It's got the neck edging of the kip that I'm currently working on, and it is pickle green, which I'm currently a little bit obsessed with. I do have a pickle green 6th season as well, but yeah, it's basically all my favourite things, and I made a little t-shirt out of them. I will say with summer garments, I fold them up, put them in my drawer. Once I've worn them for 10 seconds, all the creases drop out of them, but in the meantime, I just have to hold up wrinkly things to the camera, because I'm not, I don't know, I have an iron somewhere. It's a drop shoulder. It has a cute little neck edging, and oh, this is my favourite bit. Like, this is the back edge, so like that is the back shoulder. Oh, that is the back. Oh, it smells like my perfume. So yeah, I don't know if I've got a video of me wearing it, I'll put it in, because I do think it doesn't look all that much holding it up. I'm obsessed, I love this, I will definitely be making more. It's not going to be a pattern this year for sure. The summer knitting season is so short. I think I can probably in a year release like 3 summer patterns. Yeah, like generally like May, June, July and August are the only months I'm considering releasing a summer pattern. Last year I took off 2 months, this year I'm taking off August. I continue to plan to take off August. I think it's a nice way to like reset my brain for more autumnal months. And I have a birthday sale in August, 'cause it's my birthday, and I kind of just like August, I don't release any patterns. It's also weirdly transitional because like you're at the end of summer, so you could like squeeze out a summer knit if you want to, but you're not really thinking about winter knit yet. Whereas September comes around and I'm like, it might still be 22 degrees, give me the wool. So I just take August off. So that means you've kind of got May, June and July to release summer patterns. But if you want to test knit things for like a good 8-week test, you need to start planning them way earlier, and I have no desire to do anything with cotton in June, or in January. I just don't want to do it. So it makes for a very short summer window, and that's why last year when I did the Tolsta Tank, it rolled around for a year before I released the pattern. And I actually really like it because it gives you a long time. With winter garments, a lot of the time you're wearing it like, it's a bit more, at least the ones, I know it's not all like this, but the ones that I generally design and wear a lot of, a bit more of a relaxed fit. You've usually got a t-shirt underneath it. The fit is important, but they're getting less like skin to skin wear, and so they just feel a bit more robust. Whereas the summer knits, I'm throwing them on, I'm wearing them a lot, they get quite a lot of rough and tumble, they're on all day, they'll be on for like 16 hours a day, whereas a sweater you might take off and put back on before you leave. They're directly next to skin, so you get to see how the yarn wears, you get to see if seams open up, and then they're generally in fibres like cotton and linen, which don't behave, like wool is really robust. It doesn't really, maybe superwash does, but generally it doesn't really stretch out. It doesn't really need washed all that often, whereas my summer knits get washed after every like 2 wears, usually 2 to 3 wears, depending how much time they've had on. The fibre stretch, the number of times I've been caught in the rain in a linen or a cotton something, and then when you come back, this exact one I got caught in the rain with in New Zealand, and the armholes were like down here after being caught in the rain because it just all went pff, like the body heat and the wetness, just the whole thing like sagged. I have to like chuck it in the wash. So all that to say, having a pattern released 12 months later I think is really good, particularly for summer knits, because it gives me time to stop and wear and try it out and see if it works. And that's probably what will happen with this. I definitely have some tweaks to make. The sleeve flares a little bit, so there's a little bit too much fabric going on there. There's a little bit of shaping in the top of the sleeve, which I love. But I need to like rework those numbers a little bit. It's perfectly wearable. I will definitely wear it, but I will definitely fix that for a second sample. And I want to try a few things. I want to try some stripes, maybe some lace. I had a Tolsta with lace eyelets, and it has been consumed by my mother's wardrobe. She wore it once and I've never had it back. I don't think I'm getting it back, so maybe I'll replace it with one of these. So yeah, really fun. Like I said, super easy to wear. Definitely will be casting another one of these on. My plan is to get going with the Tolsta knit along, and then after that maybe cast on another one of these. I have loads of this yarn, so I think that'll be fine. This is Lena, Sandnesgarn Lena, in the colourway Sunny Lime. I got mine from Linda Hobby, and I couldn't really find it from UK Stockist, so I got it from Linda Hobby. Really well priced, no issues with customs. It does take a while to come, like a week, probably a week to 10 days to arrive, just because it's coming from Germany, I want to say. Yeah, so no plans for this to become anything now. I was already thinking, it's quite funny because Tolsta is a beach, well it's an area and it's a beach in the Outer Hebrides, and it's part of a landmass which hosts, there's one island, I don't want to be controversial and offend any Hebrideans, but there's one island, and part of the island is Isle of Harris and part of the island is Isle of Lewis, but they're on the same landmass, and there's a little bit of like flat land in between that separates them, but like it's the same, like you talk about the Isle of Harris and the Isle of Lewis, it's the same island, it's just different parts of the same island. And part of me really likes the idea of naming this after a beach on the other half. Because it's the same but different, and this is the Tolsta gauge but a different construction. I kind of like that. I also really love that on the same part of the island as Tolsta there is a beach called Bosta, and I kind of like that Tolsta and Bosta sound similar, but are they too similar? Like, is Bosta too close to Tolsta? I'm curious. There's also for the first option I have a beach in mind, but I need to make sure I can pronounce it properly, and I asked my mum and I don't know if I trust her pronunciation, so I had to go find someone who'll pronounce it for me properly and make sure that I'm saying it right before I name a pattern after it. Okay, that is all of my, oh, I'm knocking the table, all of my finished objects. I've got technically 4 works in progress, but one of them I pulled out today, so I'm just going to show you the yarn. I'll give you a little break from Tolsta talk and talk about this instead. So in my last podcast I did a tester call for Lunen. Lunen is a polo and a shirt, so it's got like 2 neckline options, a round neck or a polo neck. I finished my polo neck version, the test net has started, and I'm just working away now on the round neck version. I tried to show this last time, but it was still in the blocking mats, but this is what it looks like. It is got this very cute round neck. It's quite like a close fitting round neck, so it comes quite high, which I really like. And it's got a fun little bit of like shoulder detail. Again, I love a shoulder detail like this. It's the same as 6 Seasons, it's the same as Lauder. And yeah, it's all worked in this 3x1 rib with this, somebody online called it like this baby drop shoulder, and I think they meant it as an insult, and I love that concept because it's a baby drop shoulder. And then the way I work it is it's got a baby drop shoulder and then some short rows. So a drop shoulder typically would come to like here, and then you work the sleeve straight, but this comes to like here, and then you work little short rows to get yourself to there, and then you work the sleeve. And I just love the fit of it. I think it just feels, I love the way it fits on my shoulders. I'm a really big fan of it, which is why I keep using the same technique. And yeah, this is one of them. So this has the same shaping with, it's got some short rows in the sleeves. And yeah, I do think this is a DK weight, and unlike, so it is a relatively, it's like a 20 stitch gauge, so it's a bit denser than something like the Tolsta. And I've mentioned it 50,000 times, but Scotland doesn't get that warm. So I've knit mine a DK for this, but the test knit is also, it's also graded as also being test knit in 4-ply, because I know that not everyone likes, like, there are places in the world where you cannot wear DK weight summer garments, and I'm just trying to make sure that there's something for everyone if they want to knit it. So I'm making my 2 samples, I made both my samples in DK. I do have 2 sample knitters working on the 4-ply versions for me because I don't want to knit 4-ply. Come for me, I don't care, that's fine. That is what I prefer to knit, I'm not going to do it. And yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I'm using Camarose Someruld, which is a 70/30, and I do think that if I was using, it does make it a warmer summer garment. Like, probably this is more of a transitional piece for me in like spring and in autumn, because it's 70% wool. So it's basically a short sleeve sweater, but I'm kind of okay with it. And yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I didn't think I would enjoy knitting bib as much as I am, but I am really enjoying it. And it's been a bit of a, it's been a nice, I have a design in my head that I've had in there for ages that I've told myself I can't do because it's knitting bib, and I was worried my gauge would be really off and I would struggle to like even make a sample. But it's working fine, so that's nice. That's a bit reassuring. And I'm making this one a little bit shorter. I'm going to crop it a little bit, so we're not too far from being done. I think it's like 21 centimeters now. Yeah, 21, and I'm going to make it 30 total. So there's ribbing to go. So I don't have much more to go, less than 10 centimeters, which is quite nice. And then some little sleeves, and then I'll be ready to wear this, which will be really fun. Maybe I'll be finished for next time. I think for the, I'd like to revisit this later in the year and add longer sleeves, because I do think it would just be really fun, particularly the polo version, like really nice in the winter with like a, just thinking like a pair of black jeans or like a skirt and tights and boots and a knitted polo shirt. Oh, I think it'd be really nice. And like a dark grey, a bit like academia vibes, a little bit. But I do think that I might want to make the neck wider and then have like a chunky collar for the winter one. So I have some cobalt blue yarn that I'm thinking that might become it. And yeah, I think I might make a version where the neck is a bit more open. Maybe not, maybe I'll keep this one. I'll finish this one and see what I think and try it all on. There's a hard thing with ribbing, is it's really hard to try on because everything's like, so I want to try it, block it, and then I can try it on and see what I think about the neck. My gut feeling is telling me that I want a chunkier neckline on the winter version. So I'm gonna open the neckline up a little bit and do long sleeves and make like a blue, maybe it won't be blue. I need to clean out my, I've got a plan to do some stash clearing out, maybe this weekend, if not at some point over the next couple of weeks. And it's kind of exciting because I think I've got yarn I've not thought about for a while, and I'm looking forward to doing some planning and pulling some stuff out and like deciding what it's going to become. I, at this point, have designs planned until January. Like I know what's coming, or I know what I'd like to at least try to work on. And so this gives me that if I go through my stash, I can do that, and I'll pull some stuff out and it'll go to our knit yarn swap whenever we next have a yarn swap. We do that, it's really nice. We do a yarn swap every 6 months approximately, and we usually do it between the seasons, so like one at the end of winter and one at the end of summer. And this just means, and for me, I did mine at Christmas time, so it'll be, and then I kept the yarn until we did our swap in March or so. And this time I'll do it now, and then when we come to do the swap, I will have gone through things. It also is quite nice because there'll be things that I'm like, oh, I don't know if I'm ready to part with it, and then I'll wait until the next swap, and if I've still not touched it or even thought about it since 6 months before, then I'll take it to the yarn swap, which is quite nice. And I do need to, my yarn storage space is our office, and the office is split in two, so Sam has part of it and I have part of it, and it is chaos right now. My side is just chaos and I need to clear it out, and I'm excited. Like the promise is I'm going to find yarn that I like, that I'm going to be able to use to make new fun things like winter versions of this. So yeah, that is all. It is ploughing away. The test knit is underway. Oh, something quite fun. We've got quite a lot of people testing it for men. I had a lot of interest in people reaching out and saying, oh, my partner would love this, or like, I'm a guy, I want this. So I think I'll do what's the same as the stick season. The stick season has an additional, I actually added it after the fact because I got some feedback, but the stick season has an extra document which helps you, it's graded to a woman's size chart. And then there's an extra document being like, here are some things to consider if you're knitting this for a male body. About things like the armhole depth and like cross shoulder, and if you want to make any shaping, things like that. So I think I'll stick with the same pattern, but I think we have maybe 8 testers testing for men, which would be really nice to see. It's nice to have more inclusive options, and yeah, that's all I got. Okay, I'm going to Tolsta and then I'll move on. This is my long sleeve Tolsta, so next week the original Tolsta T document is being updated with 3 bust shaping options for both DK and 4-ply and for long sleeves. People have been like freelancing long sleeves for a while, which like absolutely fair play to you, go for it. But I thought I'd just add it to the pattern as well, just to make everyone's life easier. And if I was adding bust shaping to the tank top, I thought I may as well add bust shaping to everything. And I wanted to knit a pattern to like relaunch it with, but I'm going pretty slowly, and I've only got a week to finish this, but it's a pretty open gauge. I've just taken this off the blocking mats because I thought I was allergic to it. And now I'm not sure if I'm allergic or if I've got hay fever. I really don't know. But I thought I'd wash it anyway and see what happened and see how it goes. This is Sandnesgarn Ballerina mohair, which is a thick, chunky mohair. I'm holding it single stranded, and I think the colour is just called blue. And as you can see, the body is now completely finished, and I'm most of the way through the first sleeve. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to just try it now and see how we're getting on. And I think it looks really cool. It's looking actually very creased. It's puffed up a lot. It's gone very, very fluffy with washing, more than I expected it to. And it's gone kind of like, it's not felted at all, but it has gone a bit more, the fibres have glued to each other more, and it went from being relatively a little bit see-through to not being at all see-through. And yeah, I'm excited. It smells, I mean, if I'm allergic, I'll know when I put the fibres directly close to my nose. I mean, it's now itching my nose, but is it just itching because the fibres were itchy, or is it up my nose and I'm allergic? I don't know. I don't really have allergies, and then there was one day I was working on this and I couldn't stop sneezing, and I was like, oh, it must be this fibre. But then I washed this, and then this morning I was sneezing and I thought maybe it's hay fever. Don't know. I will finish it and I'll wash it, and then I'll decide, I'll wear it probably, and I'll see if I'm suffering. And if I'm suffering and I can't stop sneezing and itching my nose, then I probably need to give it away, which is a bit of a shame, but I'll get over it. So yeah, it doesn't look good, does it? It's got that funny wrinkle on the front, which I can't really see but really in real life. I don't really know where it's come from either. But yeah, it's going to be a long sleeve version. and I'm excited to wear it if I can. I've lost a little bit of mojo on this one because yeah, I was worried that I'm allergic. And now I'm kind of like 3/4 through and I'm like, oh, do I have to suffer to finish this? But also I've knit all this so far, like I want the finished thing, but not if I can't wear it. I'm a very outcome driven knitter. I want the thing. But I don't want the thing if the thing is gonna make me suffer. So I also washed the rest of it. It comes in balls, so I hanked up the rest of the ball that I was using and I washed that as well. And we'll see. I do now feel like my nose is itchy, but is it because I'm talking about it? I don't know. I don't know what to do. I don't really know how to get about it. Am I just, like, is it in my head or is it actually an issue? Luckily for me, I happen to know a few people who really like the colour blue. So in the off chance that I am allergic and I can't wear this, I'm sure it will find a nice home somewhere. And yeah, I just need to get some motivation to finish it. But I keep being like, oh, I don't want to pick it up because what if I end up sneezing for the rest of the day? Which is probably a sign in itself that I should quit while I'm ahead. I'll see. Oh, I picked this badge up at Really Good Gathering, and it's like a glass plastic thing, and I really liked it because it is the same as my tattoo. And it's blue, so I thought I'd put it in the bag with a blue project. Okay, 2 more works in progress. The next one is also a saga. I think I've mentioned this before, but I go through highs and lows of my knitting, and I think I'm in a low at the minute. Like, I just kind of hate everything. Nothing's working out quite how I want it to, and I'm a bit frustrated. It will pass probably by tomorrow, but right now I'm just like, ugh, nothing is working. I'm allergic to it all. It's all awful. Nothing's exciting. It will pass. This is my Kip sweater. The Kip sweater is a pattern coming out, well, in September. The test knit is coming later this month, and it is a sweater, top down, drop shoulder, worked in this all over amazing herringbone stitch, which I am completely obsessed with. And I can't remember where I was last time, but I did last night rip out an entire sleeve. It's funny because the yarn blocked a lot, which I expected it to, and my swatch did not lie. My swatch was correct. I thought my swatch was lying, so I picked up too many stitches for the sleeve, and then it had this like a funny like bagging out thing, and I knit a whole sleeve, and I was like, maybe it's just funny. And I got all the way to like here, and then I was like, no, this is just too many stitches. Like, this is pulling funny under the arm, and I'm the reason why. So we'll fix it. I'm also contemplating short rows in the sleeves, and I don't know if it's going to break up the stitch pattern. I can't decide. So currently it's a little bit on ice whilst I decide. It has this really nice single stitch edging detail around the neckline, which I really like, and also around the hem. My other thing that's frustrating me is when it blocked, the hem at the bottom has really flared out, and I just think it does not look neat at all. So I have to come back and re-knit the ribbing, which is completely fine, but yeah, you can kind of see it's really, there's no structure to that hem, and it is quite a bit wider. It's like flaring out for the rest of the sweater, and that is frustrating me. So this is why it's a little bit purgatory. I will get over it. I might actually rip out the hem and redo the hem before I pick up the second sleeve, just because then at least I'm back on track a little bit. I wasn't planning to do the edge detailing at the hem, but I realised that going from this stitch to ribbing was actually a bit scruffy looking, and I thought, well, I've already got a design feature, which is this single line of stitches. Let's just put it on there and on the sleeves of the cuffs as well. So that's quite nice. Yeah. So we have a body, and yeah, up close it's pretty cool. And I wondered, I had a bit of, again, a wobble. Lots of wobbles right now. My tech editor got a lot of emails yesterday with me panicking that I had entirely screwed this design up and it was not going to fit anyone. And then I talked myself off a ledge and I was like, I'm fine. It's not that bad. Chill out. Just I'm going to take the sleeve out. But I was really like ready to axe it, which this has been on my needle since April. No, that's not even true. It's been on my needle since like, oh, since we went to Arran last year. Maybe pre-Christmas. It's been on this for a long time. So I'm glad that I realised that was incorrect. But yeah, I just need to be back in love with this, and it happens with every single project. I go through a phase where I hate it. And then it comes around and I love it again. And I think it's just part of the creative process. But it's frustrating when you're in it, because you know it's going to pass, but you can't do anything to make it pass faster. You just have to ride the wave, and then it's fine. I'm curious, I feel like I have this significantly more as a designer than I ever had when I was just knitting other projects. I don't know if it's because with other projects there are so many finished objects and like I know what it's gonna look like, so I've got like faith in the process because I know how it's gonna end up. And there's something about the unknown of designing that makes me less eager. I don't know, but kind of quite stressful. But that's okay. I'll get back on track with this. I need to have a sleeve done by the time the test call comes around so I can validate that my sleeve is in fact correct. The test call I'm planning the week of the 19th and today is the 6th, so that's 2 weeks. That's fine. That's completely fine. So yeah, about 2 weeks to... I knit most of a sleeve this week without really trying, so I think I can probably actually get the whole thing done by the time the test knit starts, which is good. And then I'll start a second one. I had a wobble again about whether I should use a different yarn for my second one, and I did some swatching. This is the Rerum Natura Ulysse. It's a beautiful yarn. It's really, really lovely. It's a sport weight, and I had this panic, and then I thought, so I did some swatching, and so I did land on really enjoying the Isire Jensen. I think my needle was too big. It's a little bit gapey. You can see it's a bit gapey, but it did have really nice stitch definition. But I've decided actually I'm going to stick with the yarn I bought for my second sample, which is what I should do because I bought the yarn. Yeah, the highs and lows. Right now I'm in a low with this one. It's frustrating because I can't really explain why I don't like it, but I'm just a bit worried and I just need a bit more validation on the fit to know that it's where it's going the way I want it to go. That validation, yeah, we've got a quiet-ish weekend planned. I think I'll have quite a lot of knitting time and I'll have some time to like focus. So hopefully if I can get this ribbing reknit and get going on the second sleeve. And once I get just down to like here and get that first pickup done, get a little bit of short row shaping in, I think I'll feel way better. I just have to get there and then I'll be fine. Okay, my final whip is not really a whip. It is also my acquisition of the week. I bought some yarn. So in terms of what is coming, September, okay, we've got Tolsta is coming out, Tolsta Tank is out today. Next week we have the update. In July we have the Lunen, the polo and the tee with the ribbing. August we have nothing. We have my birthday sale at the end of August, but August we're just chilling and knitting and chilling and not releasing any new designs. September we have Kip. October we have something with Explorer Knits and Fibres. Colourwork, Hosier inspired. That's like all I've got so far. I do have some charts, like I've already started working on the charts. I'm already excited. The yarn is on its way to me. We've got one like really wholesome neutral and one like out there bright colour and I'm excited for both of them. That is October. And then November, this is how far ahead. I also have December's and January patterns planned. Oh, and February pattern planned. I'll change my mind again. But November, I'm planning to release a wrap based on the wrap that I started a while ago. If you were here a while ago, I knit a wrap top. I was going to take it to Australia. It was 35 degrees humid in Australia. I did not take the mohair wrap with me to Australia, but it made me realise I really want a wrap and I want it to be set in sleeves and I want to have bust shaping options and I want to be able to give some guidance on how to make the gape, like how to stop gaping. I want to be top down and I want 101 things because of course I do. You know, I like making sure that when you knit something, you knit it the way you want it for you, and for me that means throwing a lot of options at it. So I had to go back to the drawing board. If you were here, if you want to, it's back. I don't even know when, a few episodes ago, I talked about the wrap and it was really interesting because I talked a lot about how in sewing you like stop and you try things on as you go, and this wrap gave me an opportunity to do that, but it was from the bottom up and a few things. The back edging, the armholes were too deep and the back neck was too low and the shoulders were too wide. But the sit of the cross was perfect. So I have a few things to work on. I had some waist shaping, like I've got some things I'm planning to do. And so yesterday I cast on and then I realised that my gauge was completely off and I can't do maths. So I started working on it at a 16 stitch gauge, but realised I have a 22 stitch gauge, 20 stitch gauge, yeah, 20 stitch gauge, and so I had like dramatically too few stitches. But I do have the yarn to show you, so I ripped it out. But I might start on again today, it might be tomorrow. This might be my like Tolsta day reward. Just because I'm feeling a bit, like my Lunan polo is fine, it's just knitting rib, that's okay. The Tolsta long sleeve is maybe making me allergic, and my kip needs me to stop and think. I just wanted to cast on something fun. And I thought about casting on another t-shirt, the drop shoulder one, but I thought I don't want to cast that on until I finish my Tolsta. I do this thing with myself, I have 4 slots for knitting, and which is silly because I have whips I've not finished, but I have 4 slots, and like I don't let myself cast something on until something is cleared from a slot. And so currently I had to finish that black Tolsta, and then I could cast on a new thing. So I finished the black Tolsta camisole, now I can cast on a new thing. And I'm telling myself it would be good to start on the wrap because it wouldn't surprise me if I've got a little bit of work to do on this one. It's going to be a bit of ripping out. It's not going to be the same from the get-go. It's going to have a 12-week test knit. The earlier I start, the better. So that's what we're doing. I am using 2 yarns which I know and love. So my original sample was in Knitting for Olive, Knitting for Olive, merino and mohair. I think I might still make a red sample with their mohair. I think I have a lot of that mohair left over. But I thought I'd just use a yarn that I really, really love. And so I'm using Drops Alpaca and Sandnesgarn Tilia. Nope. Filcolana Tilia. This is the colour Ash, and this is just the colour Light Grey, I think. I have mentioned it a ton of times before, Drops Alpaca and mohair is one of my favourite combinations. It does not pill, it wears so well. My 2 all-time favourite sweaters are both knit with the Drops Alpaca as the base. And this wrap cardigan, I want to be a real workhorse. I want it to be something I can see it getting a lot of wear, and I thought that's what I'm going to do. I knew I wanted a colour that's grey, I knew they had a grey, so that's what I'm using. So yeah, this is how much I've made. You can tell how much progress I made because this is how much I had, and then I unwound the whole thing. I just wound them on together again. But it's going to be fun. It is my first time doing a set-in sleeve, is that right? Pretty much. The roux is not a set-in sleeve, it's a contiguous. I guess I technically, when I first started knitting, before I knew about designing, I did make a cardigan and it had seamed sleeves and the sleeves were worked up, and then there was a sleeve cap and then I sewed the seam cap on. So theoretically that was a set-in sleeve. However, it had no shaping, and the back of the cardigan sat like this much higher than the front of the cardigan because I had no back shaping in it. Maybe one day I will remake that cardigan, but it's my first time doing a design with set-in sleeves and I'm just excited about all of it. Like I've got good ideas. I'm excited about the construction. I'm really excited about the end piece, and so that is like all like bubbling a little bit in my head, which is very exciting. I think that's everything. I do not have any more acquisitions. I have some yarn on its way to me. It's not here yet. It's coming from Canada. It's the pre-order from Sunday Fibre Company, who I've never ordered from before, and it's a beautiful blue yarn and I'm so excited for it to arrive. I will be knitting a stickless stick season, but probably not until the end of the summer, maybe like a birthday cast on or something. So that'll be arriving at some point soon. And otherwise, we're just plowing along. And then like, yeah, it's weird. I'm super excited about Tolsta. I'm a bit frustrated with some other projects I've got going on. And I'm really ahead of the game at the minute. Like I'm on top of it in terms of like kip I've got to get sorted in 2 weeks, but I've had a few months of like a lot of deadline knitting, a lot of stuff to be done by a certain time. And right now I'm just kind of on top of my life and it feels weird. I feel like something is wrong. And I'm kind of in like a false sense of security, except it's a real sense of security because actually I'm on top of things. Am I? Am I going to regret saying that? Because in fact I am not, and I'm forgetting something obvious. Maybe. But yeah, that is it. What about else? Personal catch up. Last weekend we got sailing on the boat for the first time of the year. I have a picture. If I have a picture, I'll put it here. We have a sailboat. We bought a sailboat in September of last year. We sailed it like 3 times and then we took it out for the winter, and then we had a whole winter where we started jobs which ended up being massively bigger jobs than we planned, and then we moved her from this coast to the other coast, and then we finally went out sailing. and it was so good. It was so nice. I had such a good day. The boat did what we thought it would do. I mean, there are still a few things we have to fix, but like that's okay. And I just felt like a surprising amount more ownership over the boat now that we've spent a whole winter working on it. I was like, this is my boat. I have, you can't really see them, I have like chemical burns on my, like scars from chemical burns on my arms where I like scarred myself with paint stripper. I spent like 6, like not even that, like 3 months where like every single weekend I had blue in my hair from like chipping off old paint. There's a lot of work went into it, a lot of physical work went into it. So yeah, it was a really nice moment to go out, and it was glorious weather. It was really nice sailing, and yeah, that was really good. So that's my big life update. There's another big life update coming. We're doing something really exciting this weekend. But I'll talk more about that next time. Or follow me over on Instagram and you'll maybe see. I don't want to say it before tomorrow, because it's tomorrow we know, but I'll talk about it next time. But yeah, that's gonna change things a little bit around here, I think. We'll see. I'm a bit nervous about it. And then what else? This Sunday is Sam's birthday, but we are gonna have a pretty quiet day. And yeah, work is hectic but enjoyable, but also really busy. And the weather's starting to get a bit nicer, which I'm enjoying. And things are a bit all over the place, but in a good way. I feel like for the first time in a while, I feel like I'm on top of things. And that is a really nice feeling. And I feel like something I've really upped recently is my content. I'm making a lot of extra videos, I'm putting a lot more out there, I'm planning it a little bit more, and I'm getting a lot out of it. I don't really know what else to do on YouTube. I'd like to be doing things that are gonna like grow the channel, but it's really hard to do, to be honest. I started making these studio vlogs, but they didn't get a lot of traction. In fact, I think I lost followers, so I stopped making studio vlogs. So we'll see. I'm kind of like, it's in the back of my head, what can I do about that? But for now, I'm enjoying putting pictures online and video and yeah, just making all the things. And I find it's funny that the more like video content I make, the more ideas I have for more video content. So that's fun. Anyway, I think I spent the last 5 minutes just rambling. But that is it for me. Thank you so much for joining. Feel free to check out the code for the Tolsta down below and get started if you want to join the knit along. Next week, I'm going to show you all of my Tolstas, long sleeve, short sleeve, vests, and talk about the details of the knit along. And otherwise, I'm just going to get through this little knitting slump I've got with some of my projects. I'll be back hopefully next time with a bit better, more exciting news and be a bit more upbeat about some of my whips. And that's it. Happy knitting. I'll be back in a fortnight, and until then, I hope you have a great time. Bye!